All right, let me take you across for more on this ray of hope, but at the same time, extremely doubtful whether it will come to fruition. We have Ambassador C. Rajashekhar, former senior diplomat, to talk about it. Good afternoon to you, Ambassador. What do
Very
you
good
make
afternoon.
of this plan that has been announced by Donald Trump, this disarmament of the Hamas, where we don't know whether Israel is on board or not, and it's been announced soon after Netanyahu, for the first time after the 28th of February, went and met Donald Trump in the US.
Yes, I think you have hinted it right. Firstly, peace is welcome coming from any quarter, in any form, any hope in the direction also. But this particular issue has been much troubled. It is like the situation when we heard that Iran, US have reached a framework of agreement to negotiate within 2 months. Similarly, here also, with the encouragement, support, facilitation of the US and the UN Peace Board, an agreement has been reached in Cairo among the various stakeholders: Egypt, Turkey, Oman, Palestine. But we have to see, as you rightly said, that whether Israel would play along, and also there's so many conditions that need to be fulfilled before we can really take this as a dawn. Till that time, we should better keep our fingers crossed.
Right. And where do you think this plan, this announcement, what we know about it, gives any sort of indication that it could work out? Do you feel that, again, the onus of it working out or not will firmly be on Donald Trump himself, who's made the announcement?
Yes, provided he could hold back the Israeli fire and their aggression. There is no war for the sake of war itself. So when there is conflict, there is reason for the people to take up arms. For Hamas to disarm, they have to be also from their side assurance of their security, their civil infrastructure being reconstructed. These have been placed as conditions into this agreement also. But these are not easy conditions to be fulfilled. So till the time Israel holds fire and resumes reconstruction of the damaged civil infrastructure, I don't think Hamas would rush to disarm. And also, it would begin with the police light arms not surrendering to Israel, but non-Palestinian international authority. So it will be a step by step in case it has to be done in a very methodical, very careful process. We have to see that all parties in good faith will negotiate. A period of 2 weeks has been suggested for the negotiation to take place. And we should wish the process well, but we'll be prudent not to place much, to come out of this thing, because we have seen periodically President Trump is quite, he likes to declare that he has stopped wars and he has put peace process in motion. We have seen in our own region this happening. But unless and until the underlying conditions, what is the cause of the conflict, has been addressed, and also both sides have reason to bona fide believe and satisfy that their grievances have been taken on board. Till that time, we can't, as it is, tell that it is objective and Israel would agree to hold fire, and also Palestinians can feel genuinely that they feel assured, because there are so many impediments from even humanitarian aid reaching them properly, fully, and ceaselessly. So we have to see that humanitarian relief is assured. On that note, I also would like to say that our permanent representative, Ambassador Harish, made a statement yesterday, including in fluent Arabic language, to assure Palestine of India's continued unwavering support for their cause, that there shall be a two-nation resolution, and India continues to support Palestinian aspiration for nationhood and United Nations recognition of it. So we all wish for peace to restore, but the upcoming 2-week negotiation time holds the key as to the direction that this would take.
Well, the time frame is very short, and it seems like there are two different elections, one the midterms in the US and the other one that is coming up in Israel in October, that really has, two opposing forces pulling this in two different directions, opposite directions.
Yes, elections are difficult in democracies. They have to go through periodically, and election time is not exactly ideally.
Yes, because
The
at this time,
contestants.
if Netanyahu agrees to this plan, then he can kiss whatever is left of his political career, which is already in doldrums, a complete and comprehensive goodbye.
Probably this is more to drum up the Republican Party prospects in the US. You're right that no politician, especially knowing Prime Minister Netanyahu, that he would appear to be conciliatory before elections, because his plank always has been a very robust, assertive, even aggressive policy stance towards Palestine. We cannot expect him to be conciliatory and accommodate this process. Let's see. Having said that, India continues to support the process. Any approach in that direction. We are friends with Israel doesn't mean that we dilute or we compromise with the Palestinian cause. That was the central statement yesterday made at the United Nations.
In any case, global preoccupation now is mostly with what is happening with Iran, US, and not so much between Israel and Hamas and all the other parties, because as long as there is a ceasefire in Gaza, and Gaza doesn't impact the world like this ongoing conflict does, and it seems that the focus is slightly being taken away with this announcement from what is happening with Iran.
That's what the central point Indian ambassador to the United Nations has made yesterday, that we cannot afford to take the focus away, because in Palestine also there is a very dangerous crisis, emergency situation in Palestine, that the people should have access to drinking water, food, fuel, and medical support. These are very essential. Innocent people in conflict areas have to be ensured by any norm, any interpretation. That we have to ensure. This is the central point that our ambassador to UN was making yesterday, that we shall not be detracted by the ongoing bigger conflict in Iran and US.
Right. Well, let's hope that things work out here, and more so in the case of the US and Iran, where for the moment things seem to be going south rather than north. Thanks a lot for joining us for the moment, Ambassador.